let's start with this first question. I think there's a customer looking to sell the market already. So let's put it up. Yeah, I think this is a question from Ms. April. Is the market already in presumptive or irrational exuberance? Diba? Sabi nga nila, you sell during that time. So, madam?
I wouldn't say naman exuberant. Pero, yeah. I mean, I'm not that alarmed. But a bit on the high side, you know. Yun lang. Oh, okay, ganito. So, aside from the fact that we're close to the high end of the PE ratio, our target for the PSEI, we shared before, is around 7,000. So, we're, konti na lang, nandun na tayo, di ba? So, so yun lang naman sa akin. Medyo, kumbaga, naging masyado tayong optimistic. My worry is, what if we encounter some negative surprises, negative news? So, how will the market take it? I'm just worried that if some bad news comes out na what we're expecting, of course, when you're expecting a turnaround in the economy, it means that fourth quarter has to be better than third quarter and the first quarter has to be better than fourth quarter. And what if it isn't that way? What if it just stays this way? Then, you know, I'm just worried that the market or stocks might feel so low.
Okay. So, Juanes, do you want to add?
No, it's okay. I'll just let you know when I need to say something. April said
okay, sir. Sige. All right. Okay, next question, ma'am. I think this is quite relevant because we are in the most closely contested elections in the US, ma'am. And a couple of our customers are asking about the impact of possible, you know, I think the market is expecting a Joe Biden win in the US, but parang hindi pa yata masyado. So what would it mean for us, at least the Philippine markets, if Mr. Biden wins? Or in this case, yeah.
Yeah, ako hindi ko masyadong alam. Actually, I read some mga discussions lang on which markets will benefit. Medyo nakaka-confuse din. Kasi I think in terms of Asia lang, the attractiveness of the Philippines has just gone up in Asia relative to, say, a Trump win. Kasi if Trump wins, what will happen is the shift of the manufacturing capacity from China into other ASEAN countries like Vietnam would continue, and maybe with the Joe Biden win, matigil yon. So kung ganon, the relative attractiveness, parang mas gumaganda yung Philippines. Parang ganon lang naintindihan ko. But yeah, but in general, I don't know, maybe there could be a shift na to emerging markets because, say, in the US, I think one of the platforms of Joe Biden is that he will increase taxes. So it might not be good for Americans.
Yes. And I think on a general basis, si Trump medyo pro-US and si Biden medyo pro-global. Okay. Ma'am, I think another question for you specifically is, for April, with the market sentiment improving, you know, what would you buy, growth or value stocks?
Well, clearly there's a shift towards value. No, I mean, I'm not exactly thrilled, but not exactly value. But when I say value, it's more like a shift towards traditional stocks or the laggards, which would be the likes of consumers, property stocks, you know. And banks. So in the short term, kung ganyan yung fund flows, why not, diba? Kasi I think what is happening is, of course, we have or if you would call the defensive issues your growth issues, after going up a lot, I mean, in a way, it's been a crowded trade and people made a lot of money. They're probably taking profits there. So now they're going to the cheaper stocks, which is your, say, you know, property banks. But then my view is, you know, kung hindi naman sila mura, bet ko pa sila bibilhin, di ba? Because they continue to face risk.
Okay. All right, sir. So, Juanes, I think this is a question for you. Is there any way to look at the PSEI through the eyes of Mr. Elliott? Or
well, if you talk about the Philippines, we're coming off major bottoms, so I think we're still early in the fact that we're coming towards hopefully a wave one. Now, remember, COVID disrupted a lot of things. So I think in that particular prospect that we might have to be able to gradually cascade out of it. So I think this is like a wave one scenario. And normally this takes a while to be able to turn our way from. So I hope that helps, because that means that we've seen the bottom of the situation, and I guess it's all up from here, but on a staircase type of movement.
Okay. Miss April, are there signs that the foreigners are already coming back, or at least in a solid basis? Can we say that they are coming back?
You know what? And they only came back yesterday. To tell you honestly, they have not been coming back on a with conviction, no. Sa totoo lang. And we actually do have some foreign institutional clients, and they still complain the market is too expensive. and you know, the story is, well, not compelling. So yeah, I think unfortunately our market is so small na you know, maybe those who are coming back in because of portfolio. It's part of the index, part of the MSCI, you know, which is why we're seeing stocks that are still expensive going up, because they just need to buy it, and they don't really know what's in it or who those companies are. They just buy it.
Interestingly, Miss April, we've conducted a study on net foreign flows. So we conducted, we looked at saan ba pumupunta yung foreign na yan, yung foreign volumes na yan. So it appears that majority are just considering large caps, index issues, and so yun lang yung may konting impact. All right. So ito, some questions specific to an industry. I think one of our customers is trying to understand, what is your outlook in the mining industry? Will this trend, I don't know.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits though of, well, the turnaround of, or at least the bottoming out of the global economy because of COVID is commodity prices have recovered. And then the excitement in the country over mining stocks, of course, improved because of, earlier on there was a lot of excitement over electronic vehicles being promoted in China, diba? And all over the world, so it's clean energy, etc. So of course you need nickel, and with Indonesia is also continuing with a ban on the exports, and then aside from that, our own DOF is saying, well, we will sell some mining assets to diba? To raise some tax revenues, and then yun nga yung yung exploration. So some of our mining companies also own shares in the exploration companies in the Philippine Sea, no? So I think
one of our customers are actually asking any insights natin on PXP, because I think this is one of the companies that are going up because of that exploration news.
It owns one of the areas, exploration areas. Actually, our chairman, he always shares this chart of mining stocks, where initially there is a surge in the price because of excitement. Usually, if a mining company finds gold, diba, or strikes oil, similar yan, aakyat yan na malaki. And then, of course, the thing is, even if you do strike oil, it takes a long time. So, ganun din sa paghanap ng oil. It takes a long time for you to actually strike oil. So, most likely, after it goes up, it will go down until they really do strike oil and they are able to extract the oil. And then it will go up again.
Yan yung junior mine ni boss.
Yeah. Yes.
We can speculate. Then pag lumabas yung oil, benta mo na.
No,
kasi matagal
matagal. I mean, it takes a long time to search for oil and extract the oil. You need a lot of money.
Okay. I think ito kay Mr. Barredo. Is Converge
if I may
already...
just inject,
Sorry. Go ahead,
with
sir.
PXP, I am seeing some slowdown in momentum on that stock. So you might have to prepare that, might need to consolidate or correct first before that resuscitates itself. And it looks like some divergence as well. So just be careful then.
Interesting. All right. So, sir, is Converge already done consolidating? Is it now a buy?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's done consolidating, but remember, along an IPO path, there is some volatility that comes in. So if you're going to take the guise of every time it dips and you try to buy the rally, you can do that. You can trade it. Remember, we've not gone through an accumulation phase on Converge yet. That comes way later. So if you're looking at that, if you look at the way Merrimark did their movement, remember there was an up and down first, then a big decline, and then a rally, then a sideways move. We have not seen that yet in Converge. So if that's what you mean, is it time to buy after accumulation? Wala pa, hindi pa yung nangyayari yun.
Okay. Sige, sir. All right. Miss April, since both issues are cheap, right, ano mas maganda bilhin? Metrobank or GT Cap? Bawal yung both. Joke. Sige, ma'am. Go ahead.
Well, I think, sige, ganito na lang. I mean, if you look at the historical track record, it seems that sentiment has been much better on GT Capital. I guess because, Toyota has delivered a lot more exciting numbers than, Metrobank. Because Metrobank, is just a very conservatively run bank. And I don't know, maybe investors kasi have been a little bit disappointed in the performance of Metrobank in the past. So maybe if they're going to come in now, they would pick GT Cap more than Metrobank. Kasi at least, diba, the numbers of Toyota have been very exciting, diba?
So I think it's also much more cheaper and diversified ka pa in different businesses.
Yeah.
Next question, ma'am. I think this is for you. And I think I know who asked this. What is your view on cement stocks like CHP, Holcim, and Eagle?
Cement stocks, well, actually, medyo mahirap eh. Well, the problem is, I think may issue yata sila on the pricing. I think they've been talking about reducing the prices. Will they benefit from construction? Yeah, definitely. I think so. The government is pushing for more infrastructure. And well, CHP, well, admittedly, it's cheap. All of them are cheap. But our worry about CHP, of course, is the governance issue about the company. Kung ganun yung situation, we'd rather not buy it, So yun, it's more of that. But the earnings have been good naman this third quarter.
Governance issue on CHP?
Yeah, because, remember before, okay, ganito na lang. CHP kasi is owned by a Mexican, di ba?
Yeah, Cemex.
The Mexican Cemex.
Yeah.
So Cemex charges very high levels of royalties on CHP. Okay, and aside from that, remember when CHP was having funding issues last year, you know what the Mexicans did? They lent CHP US dollars with interest rates that are higher than peso denominated loans. Okay, and that's in US dollars. Okay, and then, okay, that's your subsidiary. Why are you lending them at a very high rate? So why don't you reduce royalties? But if you ask them, of course they will answer, we're independent. We have to act as if our subsidiary is a separate company, and transactions have to be done in arm's length. Okay, so parang ang sama ang dating parang ginagatasan yung CHP. They don't really care about the company. So it really is very disappointing. I mean, I don't want to buy a stock where the principals act that way, where it seems like they don't really care about, minority shareholders. It's only them that they care about. So that's my issue about it.
Kawawa naman pala yung kilala ko.
Yung mga minorities lang. And actually, if you compare the operations of, say, CHP and Eagle na lang. Okay, CHP kasi, the issue about it is okay, if I'm a parent company and I'm milking my company dry, I have no incentive to invest in the best technology to make it efficient because I need my cash dividends. So when Eagle listed, medyo yun ang napatunay kasi yung mga margins nga nila is malayo. Kasi Eagle, of course, is owned by the family of RSA. Therefore, they want to make it very efficient. So they're more up-to-date with technology, etc. Whereas the other company, pag nag-invest tayo dyan, di nawalan tayo ng cash dividend. So you just try to milk it for as much as you can, di ba? So yun ang nangyayari between the two of them. And of course, CHP pays royalties to the parent na mataas and Eagle does not have to pay. Which is why if you look at the P of the two stocks, the P of Eagle is much higher because the investors recognize this.
Okay. All right. So, another question, Ms. April, about the scenario on a second wave. Kasi kanina na-mention ni Sir Juan is that in Europe, there's a resurgence of COVID, no? So, what is your take if we go through another period of, more intensive lockdowns? What's the scenario going to be like?
Definitely very negative. I mean, I think you can look at the chart of, yun nga, Juan has shared the chart of the German market, how it fell again after the second wave, diba? And then they had to lock down. So most likely, if that happens to us again, then of course.
All right. We're down to our last two questions. So being here in the market for the longest time, guys, do you think, what are your thoughts on a Santa Claus rally this year? Is Santa going to buy or sell?
One is.
We have an early Christmas.
I know.
We've already been buying. And these markets have been moving. So I hope that it lasts a little longer and maybe it can take a little bit of a pause closer to that period because we're in November. After this, we'll probably have like I said, a consolidation. So we might have a little bit quietness towards there. I hope it's New Year positioning might be a better thing to wait for.
April?
Yes, ako, syempre, ako hopeful. I mean, but for me, I think, I would agree at least, clearly the worst is over. Sa akin lang, I don't want to chase after stocks that are too expensive because although the worst is over, I don't think we are at a position where we can justify re-rating to more expensive valuations because our recovery is very slow.
Okay. All right. So our last question, Sir Juanes and Miss April. Given the current market conditions, do you A, buy or B, sell? Sir Juanes, let's start with you.
I'm looking to do some profit taking first.
All right. So it's B. Sell first, then. Miss April?
Yeah, napaka-bearish ng presentation ko. Siyempre, I'd be selling, but, that said, when the market goes down or corrects, I'd be buying.
Okay, so
my issue is more of valuation issue rather than fundamentals because I admit, yes, the market is recovering, but the reason why I'm viewing it from a half-empty position is because it's not cheap. So I don't think the price is warranted.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Sir Juanes and Miss April Tan.